Hockey here, and I know I'm a bit late on this video, but today I'm going to be looking at that Sergei Bobrovsky contract he signed with the Florida Panthers. Sergei Bobrovsky is obviously a great goaltender. You know, we got his stats pulled up right here. 2010, 2011, 28 wins, 13 losses, goals against average. Definitely not his best year, 915 save percentage, then 899. And then in 2012-13 season, he puts up a 932, followed by a 923, a 918, and then a 908. So we're kind of starting to worry, you know, is he just going to be declining and declining? But then it goes back up to 931, 921, 913 for an overall save percentage of 919. And I think that's probably what you can count on Sergei Bobrovsky to put up for your team is a .92-ish flat save percentage each game, which is obviously very good. He won the Vezina in 2013. The 2013 season was also a first All-Star, and an NHL All-Star in 2 or 3 different seasons. I'm not sure which ones. But I've always been a big fan of Sergei Bobrovsky. He's a big goaltender. He's pretty much going to be solid almost every game. It's pretty rare he has a bad game. Pretty consistent goaltender. But when we go to his contract, we see that it is a 7-year contract, similar to Panarin. It's weird they both signed for 7 years. But it's not really that weird, but just coincidence, I guess. But he signs for 7 years, $70 million contract, getting paid $11 million on average per year. I mean, $10 million rather, on average per year. So $10 million a year. That is a ton of money for your goaltender. It is a lot of money. So I guess my question, the discussion I'd want to open up is Sergei Bobrovsky worth $10 million a year? I think the short answer to that is yes. And I think the long answer to that starts with yes, but. And you can go down and talk about, you know, why he's worth it or why he's not worth it for a really long time. But I think a shorter version of doing that would just be, is he a good goaltender? Yes. Was he the best goaltender available as a UFA? Yes. Are you overpaying for him? Yes. But are you overpaying a lot for him? No. I've never really been a fan of spending double digits on your goaltender. I think teams that have done that have found that, you know, maybe they shouldn't have signed for such a long time or maybe for such a large amount of money. You know, because typically when you go these long-term contracts, the cost kind of goes down. You see a lot of players taking less money if they're given a longer contract and more money for a shorter one because they have that security in a longer contract. This contract to me seems somewhere in the middle. I think it's fair considering this is the new NHL. I think it's a fair contract. But it depends on their backup. So I'm not really familiar with the Florida Panthers backup goalie situation, but in some cases in the league, we see a couple $1 million backup, and you don't really want that. Unless it's, I don't know. I'm also not a big fan of splitting ice time down the middle between your starter and your backup. I think as an NHL team, you need to have your bona fide starter and then your backup. I think your starter should probably play 55 games, maybe. Something like that sounds right. If you look at these games played, he's got 54, 29, 38. Some of this due to injury or whatever, or trades. 58, 51, 37, 63, 65, 62. So he's playing a lot. He's playing those starter minutes. He's playing 62. I think 60 is actually probably right, like about the sweet spot. You probably want your starter to play 60 games on average per year. So how much does Florida pay their backups? That's a question I could find out. I don't know right now. Maybe there's still some moves to be made. But, well, obviously with the retirement of Luongo, Bobrovsky's filling that spot. So I just can't remember their backup right now. But when you start spending maybe $12 million on your goaltenders, like goaltender, starter, and backup, and your third string, if you're spending $12 or $13 million, where does that leave to re-sign? Where does that leave room to re-sign players in the future? We saw a cap that was supposed to go up $3 million this year and only went up 1.5. I don't know. I think I like Bobrovsky, and, you know, I'm kind of cheap, but I think I like Bobrovsky more at around 8.5 or 9. I know he's a Vezina trophy winner, but look at Carey Price in the Montreal Canadiens. I think his contract's like 10.5 a year, and I know that was a couple years ago, but they certainly signed him, and I think with the thought in mind now that, you know, maybe that was a little too much money because he's been shaky at times, he's been really injury prone, and how could you know that going in? Obviously, but that's the exact reason why you don't sign for these monstrous contracts. I don't know. Anytime someone signed for a really monstrous contract, I think teams have came back to regret it. Look at Connor McDavid and the Oilers right now. Is McDavid obviously worth that money? Yes, absolutely. But does that mean he should be paid it? I don't know. Look at Sidney Crosby and the Penguins. Both Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, I would argue, are both still top 25 guys. Neither player is making over $10 million. This recent Stanley Cup that we just saw, both the teams in the finals didn't have a player making over $8 million on their team. So, I don't know. Is Sergei Bobrovsky worth this contract? Absolutely. Does that mean he should have signed for this long? If he wants to win, I think my answer is probably not. I don't know, because it seems ridiculous to do these contract videos and to nitpick, oh, should he be making 8.25 or 8.75 or 10 million or 10.2 or whatever. But when you do that for 21 players in your system, that couple $100,000 adds up to a couple $1 million, where you could sign a depth guy that could be the difference between winning you that Game 7, getting you into that playoff hump, things like that. We got a lot of players in the contract on steals. I mean, a lot of players in the NHL on steals of a contract. I look at players like Nathan McKinnon, and obviously that's an anomaly, but the point is you want to sign these guys for as low as possible, not to insult them, but as low as possible for that reason alone. You don't want to have the majority of your contract, the majority of your salary cap tied up in, let's say, 3 players. All that is to say, is the Bobrovsky contract worth it? Is it not worth it? Will the Panthers regret this? I don't know. I think I probably like this cap hit more at a 5-year deal. Those last 2 years are the ones that really stick out to me as I don't know. Because he's going to be 37 at the time of his contract being up. Now, goaltenders are the one position in hockey where they don't seem to decline in age, and it's actually proven. You can go through. I think the Hockey Guy, I think it is, he does a video about it. Great channel, super great channel. Go check him out. I'm sure most of you guys watching this video already know of that channel. He's actually the one who inspired me to make this channel and who got me so into hockey. But I think he has a video explaining that goaltenders actually play their best hockey in their mid-30s. So all that is to say, will the Panthers regret this contract? Is this going to be a good signing? What's your take? Put it in the comments what you probably would have liked him more at, or maybe a team that could have used him more. I don't know. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.